everyone. Welcome to RbD's Workout Wednesdays, a weekly show designed to deliver bite-sized training sessions that equip and empower you with practical tools to unlock and unblock your path to success. Our show features industry experts from our other weekly show, Rev Shots. We're showcasing real-world tactics and strategies that work. Tune in to make your numbers, retain your team, and delight your customers. Follow me on LinkedIn or join our mailing list to stay updated on our latest speakers and episodes. Let's move forward together, one Wednesday at a time. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Workout Wednesday. I'm a huge fan that physically we got to stay fit. We mentally need to stay fit. Our skills need to stay fit. So Arjun is graciously joining us here as a follow-on to appearing on our show, Rev Shots, where we talked about the one topic that he is hearing in his conversations as the CEO of Docket. And that issue that he is hearing, that topic that he keeps hearing is, how do we bring order to our sometimes very chaotic AI go-to-market strategy? So Arjun, anything that you would add to that?
Great to be back here. Thanks for having me again. Fundamentally, when we speak with revenue leaders, that's who I get the pleasure of talking on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of confusions around how to get started with a go-to-market AI strategy. And last Friday, we kind of spoke a little bit about how do you start, either by identifying a problem statement or by identifying a KPI, or by going and taking a persona in a company and then kind of, doubling down and getting a right AI agent for that persona who is stretched beyond. So we talked about a little bit of this, and today I guess we wanted to use Docket as an example to how we talk to our customers, how we help them to kind of see through, where do you start, how do you kind of define the success metric, and also show a little bit of the product, because I think people might be interested to see what an AI agent would look like and things like that.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what we want to do today. And without further ado, let's dive into it, because I think that's the burning question for a lot of people is AI is, well, it's not new, but it's new. And we don't know what good looks like. We don't know. And like we talked about on Friday is, I love how you said it, is it's AI is a tool and it's an amplifier and so in order to amplify something, and hopefully we're amplifying good, we actually have to know what good looks like to begin with. And sometimes we just don't. So that's where we wanted to start today, Arjun, and use Docket to show us. I love your platform. I love how you were talking about that. So let's look at Docket and kind of take us through putting clarity into the chaos of AI go-to-market.
Perfect. To set the context, right? AI, you mentioned as a tool and it's an amplifier, and it's also doing a bunch of things. It is kind of doing the actual work. And it's doing some of the things that you couldn't have deployed humans. One of the important points that I really love here is we talk about a lot of cases where AI replaces humans, but we don't talk as much about cases where you ideally needed a human, but you cannot deploy a human because it is too cost prohibitive.
Correct.
Imagine that you want to buy a Dyson vacuum cleaner. You go to Dyson website, there are 50 vacuum cleaners, and you have no idea how to pick the one that you want. You would love to get a human as you are looking through the 50 Dysons, but Dyson cannot put a human to sit down and speak with millions of website visitors that they are getting until AI. So what is happening in the world today, and this is, we are kind of dovetailing into Docket's world, where when we talk to marketers or revenue leaders, you and I, when we go to ChatGPT, ask a question, we get an answer back. Similarly, when we go to Google, ask a question, 60% of the time, Google is giving an AI answer back. Right. So the buyers today, the humans today are getting habituated to a point where you ask a question, you get a response. I don't want to sit down and read through 70 static links that you have on your website.
Nope.
That world is over. So we believe that every single website visitors or every single website will have a concierge agent that takes care of every single website visitor in a 1:1 personalized way. So when we talk to our customers, we ask questions like, hey, do you want to kind of move into this AI paradigm of a buyer-centric 1:1 experience? Is that a priority for you? we ask that question. Is inbound conversion a priority for you? You are driving all these leads to your website. You have, let's say, 50,000 visitors or 20,000 visitors on your website on a monthly basis. You are probably converting 1 to 1.5% of that into a paid form, not a paid form, but some form on your website. You want to increase that conversion. So if inbound conversion is an KPI that they are focused on, so we kind of align it to an initiative that they have, or like a pain point or a KPI that they're trying to solve. And from there, we kind of show them how Docket can help.
Yep. I love it.
So let me share my screen and show you the, like 1:1 buyer experience that Docket can deliver. And this is on our website. So it's not a demoware. So you can actually go to the website today, everybody, just play around with the agent and try to break it. If you break it, let me know, we can improve it. Imagine you are coming onto the website, right? And we have all these amazing static links that we have put. You don't want to sit down and kind of read through all these links. You're certainly not gonna book a demo in most cases because you are not ready to speak with a human yet. But now you have an AI agent that you can talk.
I can't hear you. We just lost your audio.
Okay.
There we are.
Other priority I can help with today.
Yeah, I know we have interacted in the past, but I don't remember anything that you told me. Can you tell me what Docket can help if I'm a marketing leader at a company, at a B2B company?
Absolutely. Docket helps B2B marketing leaders increase qualified pipeline by 15% and reduce cost per lead by up to 30%. It engages website visitors instantly, answers nuanced product questions, qualifies prospects in real time, and books meetings, all without increasing headcount. This means higher conversion rates, better pipeline, and more revenue from your existing web traffic.
Got it. Okay, I think I get it. How do I train you? How do I get all this information to you?
It's really straightforward. Docket automatically ingests your content from over 100 sources: website pages, docs, Google Drive, Slack, PDFs, and more. Just connect or upload. Syncs happen automatically or on demand. As you review or update answers, the AI learns. So product education always reflects the latest intel. No tedious manual upkeep needed.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good at least. And now tell me, how do you ensure that my data is safe? Do you train on my data?
Oh.
Docket never uses your data to train its AI across customers. Your content and insights stay strictly yours. All data is encrypted at rest and in transit, and Docket meets enterprise-grade security standards: SOC 2 Type 2, ISO 27001, and GDPR compliance. Robust access controls mean only your authorized users see your info.
I think this is awesome. Why don't you help me set up a meeting?
Awesome. Could you pick a date and time that works for you in the calendar?
Perfect. So let me pause there. I want it to be a quick demo rather than taking all the time on the demo. So as you saw, the agent is able to, and the agent already recognizes who I am. But if you are going to the website today, you are going to get a slightly different experience where it's going to ask a few qualifying questions. It's going to ask enough questions so that it can be relevant to you. So it's almost like the first sales call is happening on your website.
Right.
And we see our folks kind of, 5 minutes to like 20 minutes of conversation with our agent is happening on our website.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And the way marketers think about it, right? Either the marketers are thinking, how do I forward lean into AI and use AI to kind of give us a competitive edge? That's a set of our marketers, customers. Yep. The second set is, hey, my inbound conversion is very low. I want to kind of increase my inbound conversion. That's another set. Some people are like, I want to find more deal acceleration. I want to do more qualification on the page before I hand it off to the salespeople. That's another one. Some people are like, I want to do inbound automation. I want my inbound to a point where the agent asks a question and decide whether it has to go to this set of salespeople or this other set of salespeople. Should we book a meeting? Is it ICP? Is it non-ICP? So that inbound automation as a use case. So depending on what our customers are looking for, we offer Docket as a solution and help it fine tune and produce this as a quick win for the marketers. One of the things that we see with AI is typically the AI implementation takes a long time, right? Like 6 months of an enterprise implementation, and pilot might succeed or not succeed. We go live in about 20 days, and realistically they'll start seeing responses from, in a week or so. From there, they're starting to see good responses happening. So most companies need a quick win. And if you are a person who are trying to optimize your AI strategy, try to go for a quick win rather than making like a 6 months thing.
Right.
And on the back end of the system, right, you are also going to see a bunch of amazing things that we are giving you. Like, for example, if you go and look at the back end of the system, you are going to see that let's take a conversation that is a transcript. A bunch of these amazing conversations are happening. This is production version, so if I go in, I can see all the transcripts of the conversation.
Okay.
So you as a marketer never knew what kind of questions were people asking at the top of the funnel. Yep. Now you have all this transcript. You can export it to your ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini and ask, what are people really asking?
Yep.
Or take all the summary, pain points, discovery questions. We sync all of this into the CRMs of our customers. So their salespeople now have an intent data. Oh, Okta was looking for this pain point, so let me reach out with that pain point and set up a meeting with them.
Got it.
So there is an identification and an intent data and syncing into CRM that is happening. So my point with all of this is you got to find that one thing that you can really tie yourself to and the KPI to, and then show that as a success before you get into the details.
Yeah. You covered a lot of ground there, Arjun. Everything from here's the problem to here's how you're measuring. And then the wrapper around it was have a plan, have a quick win, and all the questions that were going through my head you answered, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Which is one, we live in the swipe right world, right? And we want that quick win. So that was going to be one of the questions I have for you is implementation of Docket. Who's involved? Do I have to get my IT team involved? If I'm a CMO, who is part of my team?
Yeah. I mean, the money always comes from the CMO. So CMO has to be involved at some level. Yep. So from an economic buyer standpoint, it's the CMO or VP of marketing. Okay. And then our champion might end up being the demand generation head, because typically the website-based demand generation falls to the demand generation leader. The RevOps might be involved because there is a Salesforce integration going on here. Okay. So typically between these three people, we can go live. IT is involved if there is a need to do a human handoff to like a Slack. Like you have an SDR team and you want SDRs to talk to the website visitors. At that point, we are pushing the conversation into Slack, and you can be in Slack and respond to the incoming chats. Okay. For that, you need a Slack integration, and Slack is pretty much controlled by the IT of the companies. At that point, you go to the IT. Okay. But in most of the cases, our customers get started fairly quickly between the marketing team itself, because they get everything. And once they run it for like 4 weeks to 6 weeks, they know that, okay, do I have to connect to my SDR team? Most of the companies don't have a need to connect it to the SDR team, honestly, because the agent is actually a product expert by itself. Yeah. So it can answer a lot of deep questions, whether it is about integrations, data security and compliance, roadmap, like a lot of the first call questions that you can imagine. There's a clear Pareto principle, right? 20% of the questions get asked 95% of the time at the top of the funnel. And the agent is very, very well versed to answer those questions.
Okay. That makes a ton of sense. And I love, so that was my other question, right? As you were walking through the chat feature, is how deep can it go? Does it help set the agenda for the meeting as well? And can you program, for lack of a better term, the agent to say, based upon this conversation, here's a proposed agenda. What would you add, change, delete?
Yep. Okay. Absolutely. So the post call, see, in the agentic world, everything is controlled by a prompt, right? Like if you look at the biggest shift between the software, the SaaS software build, and the agentic workflow, the business logic used to be in a code. So somebody was saying, if this, then that into a code, right? But now it's all a prompt. So we have something called as a post call action. That's like a text box. So in that text box, you can write, after every call, come up with an agenda for the first sales call and push it into Slack.
Got
Right?
it.
So you write it in textual sentences. Our prompter automatically converts that into a prompt for the agent, and the agent is going to execute that. So if you want the agenda to look as a particular way, you have to say that here is how the agenda has to look like. There should be a discovery. There should be like a pain point identification. There has to be like an initiative timeline, or you can simply say follow the med-pick pattern to create an agenda, right? Like the methodology. So that's the beauty of building it in an agentic fashion. You are not necessarily, one customer wants it in medpic, one customer wants it in something else. You are not kind of changing your code to identify that. You simply tell the agent, this company is on medpic, this company is on this other spin methodology or challenger methodology.
Right.
It's fine because the underlying LLM already knows each of these methodologies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. So yeah, okay. So with that, so you can basically program the agent prompt-wise versus coding, which makes implementation easier. Time to results, you were saying, was roughly 3 weeks, 20 days?
20 days we go live, and in about a week or 2 weeks, you're starting to see the leads flow through, the meaningful conversations come through. So in about a couple of weeks, you will start seeing the results.
Okay. So with that, though, do I need to have the marketing air cover in place that is actually driving traffic to my website in order to be successful, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, there are some basics that the companies have to do. You know, if you have like 1,000 visits on your website today on a monthly basis, that is certainly the higher priority thing that you have to take care.
100%.
This is exactly what I was mentioning in terms of, you have to identify the KPI or the biggest problem that you have. If it is 1,000 per month, then that is the problem that you have to solve. And there is an AI agent to help you with that as well. But you have to go ask ChatGPT, I have 1,000 visits a month. I want to increase it to 6,000 visits a month. What are the best ways for me to do that? And ChatGPT is going to give you a full deep researched answer. And then based on that, I like these 3 things. These are aligned with how I am thinking from a strategy standpoint. So to implement these 3 things, who are the best vendors who I should talk to? And then ChatGPT is going to do another deep research and come back for this. These are the 3. For this, these are the 3. And then you go and talk to that vendor.
Okay.
This is exactly how it should be. Rather, you start with the problem statement and kind of work to the solution, rather than see an AI tool which is getting traction for whatever reason, right? A big investor invested in it, or like an amazing founder started something, or it looks very shiny, whatever be the reason, don't start from there. That is the recipe for disaster. Go start from your problem statement or from your KPI that you want to move, and you will end up with the right AI on the other side.
Yep. I love that. So it sounds as if we've identified the problem of my goal was to drive leads to my site. Yay, check the box. We're getting all this website traffic. We need to be able to convert that traffic into meaningful conversations, Ergo meetings, things of that nature. Awesome. So now I have my Docket solution on my website, and I'm able to, with the agentic AI, program that, for lack of a better term, but use agentic AI to personalize that experience, get people the answers they need, because that's the world we live in, get a meeting scheduled quickly, following whatever methodology I have, set up an agenda.
Yep.
I love that.
Push it to CRM so that there's like a handoff from marketing to sales. That's also seamless.
That was, So what I love about what I'm hearing you say is this level of thoughtfulness.
Yep.
Because there used to be, and everything goes in a up and down pattern, but there used to be this level of thoughtfulness. We got away from that for a variety of reasons I won't go into right now, but maybe over copious amounts of beer and cheese and all that jazz. But we got away from thoughtfulness and really dove into hard and fast data zeros and ones. Now what we're seeing though is this rise of thoughtfulness. That's my word I'm using. And what we're looking for is that experience. So the other day, just yesterday, Tuesday, I pick up my daughter from school. She has an early out, and because she's in her after school activities. She's hungry. We live in Southern California. I'm from Chicago. I'm a Portillo's girl. She's from Southern California. Here go my daughter. She loves In-N-Out, but we go through the drive-thru. And, they ask, is this for here to go? Or are you going to eat in the car? And as we're going through the drive-through window, they give her her food and her drink, and then they give her a placemat to use in the car. And I was like, that is brilliant. This is why this company has such an amazing reputation, is that thoughtfulness. And so what I hear you saying is there's this thoughtfulness with agentic AI, particularly how you're describing it and how you're advising your clients to use it, that as you're deploying it now, to your point, we're going to embed this data into the CRM system that you have. So there's a continuity of data and experience.
And that's very, very important, right? Anything that you're buying, it has to integrate into your workflow, because enterprise change management is a very, very complicated thing. Yes. Just because you as a leader is going to buy a new shiny AI tool, your team is not going to change the way in which they are acting tomorrow. It's just not going to happen. So integrating into existing workflows of people is one of the most important things that you have to look at when it is in AI. So of course, like we get this question, can't I use ChatGPT to do this? I mean, whatever I showed you, it is not possible. But in theory, if I kind of abstract that question, can I build this in-house? Yeah, you can. You just have to do a bunch of APIs, bunch of testing, and then do all these integrations, everything, and then you could build it in-house. But the challenge is, would that be integrated into your workflow? Is that a core part of your business? So a lot of the companies also do DIYing of AI, which is not really good. There is this stats that came out from McKinsey. AI DIYing, in-house AI build, is twice likely to fail. Or in other words, if you are buying AI, you are twice likely to succeed rather than building it in-house. But I'm not saying you have to buy everything externally. There are things that you should build internally. 100%. If you're a big enough team, if you have something that is super custom, if you're very worried about your data, if you're in a super high compliance industry, then it might make sense for you to, like a banking or something, or a healthcare research. Yes, you might want to build something in-house. But if that's not the case, you have to buy something. Another company's whole focus is building that into your workflows. Why wouldn't you buy something, right? So that's another angle of it, integrating into the workflow and finding an AI agent that integrates into the workflow rather than you trying to change your whole behavior.
Yep. Yeah, again, I love how you are blending, and again, this is my perspective, right? So I'm picking up on it. I love how you're blending the hard and the soft, right? Because so many times we think it's one and not both, and we're not taking into account the quantitative and qualitative all the time. And we have to bring our people along for the ride. We can't keep shoving things at them without shaping the conversation, because to your point, this is why CFOs are ripping out all the tools.
Yeah.
Right. So I've talked to a lot of my executive revenue leaders who are their CFOs are like, nope, we're done. Because we're spending $1,000 per rep on tech stack that nobody's using.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about and I love the fact that you showed the reporting, right? Because that's the thing too, is marketing and sales sometimes fight for attribution.
Yeah.
Right. So talk a little bit about the reporting that Docket is bringing to the table with that, and how that integrates, to your point, on workflow.
Yeah. See, the reporting is, we have a bunch of reporting on the platform, and in a lot of cases, we also have cases where customers need more. At that point, we kind of package the analytics into an S3 bucket and then share it back. For some of the enterprise customers, they want to put all of this analytics into their data warehouse. They don't even want to come into our UI to look at the data because they want to blend all this data into whatever dashboards that they already have in Tableau. The CMO is looking at that Tableau on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Just give us the data, we will put it into Tableau. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. So we support that use case as well.
Okay.
So the reporting, it's a combination of our reporting and the things that we send to you so that you can do your own reporting.
Okay.
In terms of the integration into the workflow that we were talking about, right? One of the things that we see, it's very interesting. AI has created a little bit of a worry in a lot of people because am I going to lose my job is like a real thing. So if you don't get ahead of it as a leader who is buying an AI tool, see, you are a leader. Imagine I'm the CEO of the company. Fine. But just because I buy an AI tool, adoption is not going to happen automatically.
100%.
Right.
Yep.
So if there is like a detractor within that team who is worried for their job, the AI that I bought is going to be a shelfware.
Yeah.
This goes to your point of bringing your team along with.
100%.
So to get them on board, get them included in the sales calls itself, onboarding call itself, to get to a point where you have in some cases, people, leave it to subtitles. Hey, you are safe is a subtitle.
Yes.
But you shouldn't make that a subtitle. You have to explicitly say, here is where I see AI, here is where I see you. You are fine, right? It shouldn't be a subtitle.
Yes.
So if you leave a lot of things for a subtitle, I have seen cases where the detractor is so worried about their job that they are sabotaging the whole deal, right? And I'm not kidding at all. I have seen cases where the human made a bunch of decisions just to make sure that they have job for 9 months. And I'm not even complaining, right? I'm just saying I could have done better at the start of the thing to involve that person early, not at the point where the sale has done, the pilot has started. That is the first time this admin is looking at the product and they got worried. And they are like, no, this is probably going to make me lose my job.
Right.
And then did a very shabby work on the pilot and we lost the pilot. Right? So we will see all of this playing out. We are seeing it playing out. We'll continue to see it play out in the next 12 to 18 months unless the leader takes that initiative to bring along your team, get the buy-in from the rest of the people, make sure that the agent is integrated into the workflow, and make it easy for everybody to come along with the journey rather than somebody picking a shiny tool and throwing it to the people just because the board told you so.
Amen to that. You should say all of that again, especially the last line of just because you were told.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Arjun, on all of that. And one of the things I share with folks is state the obvious. I don't have many pet peeves in life anymore. I live a very unoffended life, right? And people will do what they want to do, and that's cool. One of the things that still is just like nailed on a chalkboard and makes my neck hurt isn't it obvious? If it was obvious, I wouldn't ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to speak into those emotional questions and the questions that I was like, okay, well, what does this mean for me?
Yep.
We have to answer that question.
Yeah, because the headlines every day is like Meta letting go of people. And this is actually real to some extent, right? The people who are worried, think about Shopify. When Shopify went IPO, I think they had like 11,500 people. Wow. They almost doubled in their revenue and they have like 9,000 people now.
Yep.
So they went from 11,500 to like 8,000 something, at the same time doubling the revenue. Meta, Google, all these companies are actually kind of in I wouldn't say full hiring freeze, but they are not trying to increase the population inside the company. At the same time, they are letting go of selected people. So people who are worried for their job, they have a reason, because these are the headlines that they are hearing. And the media doesn't do a kind job of, like putting it out there, right? This is thing for them to like, somebody laid off 11,000 people is like a big deal that's going to grab so many eyeballs. They are going to throw that on your face day in, day out.
Yeah.
So to your point, it might be obvious for you. It is not obvious for your team. Yeah. So go have those conversations with the team so that you have them with you.
Amen to that. I think so. And it unfortunately, if it bleeds, it leads headlines overshadows the companies that maybe aren't hiring, but they're bringing AI in and repurposing their workforce because they believe culturally they're going to retain.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah. A lot of leaders who come to us for Docket or otherwise, right? It's very interesting. They tell us, here is how we are going to repurpose the people who are doing it. So they have a very clear plan. Yeah. I don't know if they have communicated it internally, but they do tell us. Right? I hope they are communicating it exactly the same way to their team too. But in many cases, when they are implementing an AI agent for content writing or like ad copy or performance marketing agent or Docket for inbound conversion. So any agent that they are using, they have plans for their existing team, because now AI is allowing them to do more with a smaller set of people. So everything on the backlog, now they are able to do with the same team. So they have a plan. I just wish and hope that they are telling this to their team as well, not just to their vendor.
Yeah. Communication is important. Yeah. So Arjun, I love all of our conversations. I think what you are doing and how you're talking about it and Docket and what that is bringing for folks is tremendously valuable. Where should people find you?
To find me, it's LinkedIn. Arjun Pillai, search for it, Docket. You should be able to find me on LinkedIn. I try to respond to as many things that come to LinkedIn. I put out a lot of content around sales, marketing, company building, things like AI, things like that on LinkedIn. So you might find it valuable. If you find it valuable, engage. If you disagree, certainly engage and tell me that this is a whole bunch of BS. And then I would love to have that conversation. And if you want to know more about Docket, go to Docket.io. The marketing agent is going to pop up. Have a conversation. I tell this to everybody. Try to break the agent. If you break the agent, give us feedback, right? Okay. Because it is not perfect. So those are the two places where you can find a lot about me and the product and the company.
Wonderful. All right, everybody. Let's not be afraid of AI. It is here to help us if we absolutely harness it the right way. That is our job as humans. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. So get a handle on it, have a plan. If you are an executive, please over communicate to your people, speak into the humanity and emotional need that we all have. And Arjun, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for showing us Docket. I'm a huge fan, and I look forward to continuing the conversation.
Absolutely. Let's do it again. Thanks a lot for having me. Have a good one.
You as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.